Welcome back to Double Down University. I'm back with you guys with another soccer prospects video, and let's get into it. The first pick I have for you guys is Musa Barrow over 3.5 crosses. Second one, Junior Firpo over 28.5 passes attempted, and Romanali over 62.5 passing attempts. Jacob over 0.5 tackles. James Madison over 4.5 crosses. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Musa Barrow. So Musa Barrow, the reason I like this spot for him is, as you can see here, Riccardo Orsolini is suspended for this match, and he is their main set piece, free kick, and corner taker. As you can see, he's 48th with corner crosses, and Barrow is one off after him at 47. So this line being at 3.5, I think that this is pretty much a discount for him, being as though that Orsolini is out, and he has hit this line pretty consistently. Let's go to see Musa Barrow. All right, so Musa Barrow crosses. Yep. So he has a 60% hit rate on the season, home and away. Splits, he's hit it 66% of the time. Last 5, 80%. He averages 4.16. His last 5, he averages 4.60. So he is in a good spot. As you can see here, he has hit this line 60% of the time. He averages 4.2, as I previously stated. So this is a really good spot for him. And then I also looked at his home splits, just him being at home, and he's hit this line at a 66% hit rate, and he's averaging 4.3, which is even better. So he's pretty consistent hitting this line at home. And then, as I said, with Orsolini out, should be a big boost to him. And then he gets a lot of his crosses in open play because he's just a fast player that attacks down the width of the field. So I really like him. Moving on, what's the next one? Was it Junior Firpo? So Junior. So let's go to Junior. Passes attempted. Junior. Let's type him in. Junior. Here he is. Okay, so he has a 62% hit rate as well. Passes attempted. He plays kind of, I'll show you guys, he kind of plays out wide as a center back. So he's like a wide center back. See, leads, and there he is right here. As I said, he plays like a wide center back. But he should be able to get some passes in versus Tottenham. Tottenham really don't have too much to play for. They have, I think, a European place to play for, or Europa League, I think that is, to play for. So don't have too much motivation in this matchup. Leeds, they're fighting relegation. And I can see if I can pull it up. So Leeds, and this is the reason why I chose a lot of these two teams like Leicester and Leeds, is because they have something to play for. They're fighting for relegation. As you can see, they're tied on points, so it's a must-win game for both of them as well. So I really like this spot for him to be able to get these passes, and it's, at least he won't get subbed off for like some old, they have nothing to play for type of scenario. So I think is Leeds home or away? Let me see. Leeds they are playing at home. They're playing at Ellen Road. So let's see. So he has hit this in a 55% hit rate at home. He's averaging 34.8 at home, and his median, average is 33. Median score. So I really would like this spot. We only need him to get 29. So if he's averaging 34, it gives us a little wiggle room to be able to go over. All right, next up is Romanoli. So the thing about Romanoli and Lazio is last matchup against Cremonese, they He scored 2 goals early and was up early, so it kind of um, took the sting out of the game, and kind of the game was basically pretty much won early on. So he didn't really get to his passes, but this game should be much closer, and I think that they should be able to. Let me see if I can go to him. This game, they should be able to control the game a full 90 minutes. They average 53% possession at home, and Cremonese averages 42% possession, which is pretty bad away. So should be a good spot for him to farm some passes and be able to get over that 62.5 mark. So Romo, there he is. So he doesn't have the greatest hit rate, greatest numbers, but a lot of times you can't always go off of numbers. You have to go off of instinct, gut feel. So he's all over the place with his numbers. I think he averages 58.1, but if they control the game, he should be getting a lot more passes on average than he normally would. So let's see, do we have any home splits for him? Not too great at home, 31% hit rate, but all we need is one to go over. So I really like him in this spot as well. He was a fringe play to begin with, just to add another pick to the 5-man. So if you don't choose to go with him, that I can agree with that. I can understand. So we just threw him up there. So Romanelli. Next up, Jacob. So Jacob Kiwior. Thing about him is he just came over from the Serie A, and since he's been over in the Serie A, he's only started in 4 games, and out of those 4 games, he's gotten a tackle in every game except for one, which he only played 62 minutes against Nottingham Forest. So he averages 1.3 tackles in his last 365 days, so like all competition, just to kind of give you like a kind of an example of what type of player he is. So he does go in and gets his tackles, or at least attempts to tackle, and all we really need here is one attempt to tackle. He doesn't have to win the tackle, just one attempt. So I really like him in this spot, and then we can either go back to like Serie A, barely played, but he's at least attempting to get a tackle. So I really like him in this spot as well, and I think this is a good showcase spot for him because one of their center backs, Arsenal, I think his name is Gabriel, he's out for the remainder of the season. So it's kind of an audition for him to see if they're going to keep him and see his potential to be able to keep him long term, because I think he just came over from, like I just mentioned, from Serie A. So I really like him in this spot. It's something to play for. Otherwise, Arsenal doesn't have too much to play for, as they are pretty much cemented in their place in the league. So like him in that spot. And then another, like I just previously touched on, another player that has something to play for is James Maddison. I like his crosses over 4.5. One thing I always factor into, he's their main set piece taker. So as you can see, he takes all their set pieces. So, but one thing I always like to factor in is how many crosses do like the sportsbook think that he's going to average, or the team is going to average. So, and then I factor that into how many crosses they have to get overall. So they are the home team in this matchup. So scroll down. So they're saying they're minus 1,600 to get at least 3 corners. So, and then for him to get 4, minus 500. So pretty good odds for him to get 4. So if he was to get in the range of 3 to 4 crosses, he will only have to get 1 cross from open play. But even if they get 3 corners, I should say, he has to get 2 from open play. So I really like this spot for him as well. And then depending on the score line, if they're up or they're down, they're going to try to go up 2-0 or 2 to whatever score the other team has, just to kind of secure their place and to be able to stay up in the Premier League. So they're going to go all out for this game. So yeah, so I like his crosses as well. Mad Dog. So Maddison, he's been hitting this 80% his last 5. So yeah, so those are my 5 that I really like. I'll go back through them again. So Madison over 4.5 crosses, Jacob over 0.5 tackles, Romanoli over 62.5 passes attempted, and Junior Firpo over 28.5 passes attempted, and Musabara over 3.5 crosses. I appreciate you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.